I've been up for an hour and a half solid. Give me that shit. Give me that. Don't give me that. Been up for an hour and a half solid. I need Canada info, please. Canada info. Dollar is shitting the bed right now. This is gonna be fun. Everything's gonna be super expensive. Glad I'm debt free and I have minimal payments to make. I have the very basic payments a human needs to make to live, and nothing else and nothing more. No car payments, no fucking mortgage bullshit. The only reason I'm not fucking jumping off a bridge, I saw this coming a mile away.
Good day, everyone.
Good day, everyone. The Liberal government seems to still be going, everything's okay, we got your back. But the dollar is crashing below numbers we've ever seen. Less than 70 cents to the American dollar. We're pretty much we're gonna be fucked. I was scared thinking there's gonna be $150 barrel $150 barrels of oil. It looks like they're gonna be $250 barrels of oil. That's guaranteed war. That's guaranteed economic. That's collapse. That's just gonna. I need to go buy on my grocery run today. I'm gonna buy a shit ton of flour and rice and maybe some more vinegar so I can pickle some stuff so it'll last for like a good 3 years. Because if war breaks out, I mean, people already say World War III already started with what's going on right now. So if it does go to total war, gonna wanna have a little, at least 2, 3 years worth of shit stocked up. What is this shit? Okay, we're playing D. That stays the same. That doesn't change. This we want. This. We want to see this. What is going on? What is the Liberal government saying about this? Everything's okay. Ignore the whole Michael Ma Uyghur camp thing. Ignore the Chinese representatives in parliament excusing fucking slave labor and then also importing product made from that slave labor. World's getting fucked up. It's okay. We have your best interest in mind. You know those psychotic zealot leftist people that are like, the right are Nazis. Anyway, we're gonna import the worst of the worst human rights violators, and as long as we do it with a big smile on our face and say that we have your best interest in mind, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, but they have a big smile on their face. They have the best interest in mind. They can't be Hitler. They can't be the ones coming to exterminate everyone and fuck everything up because they have a big smile on their face and say they have my best interest in mind. I don't have to think or do research or for 5 seconds because look at these smiling fucking psychopaths. I believe them. Great. All right, let's see what happens. See what these fuckers say.
Welcome to this meeting. This is session number 30 of the Standing Committee on Public Safety and National Security here at the House of Commons. Before we begin with our witnesses, I would like the committee to please consider the budget that the clerk distributed to members yesterday on the role of the Canada Border Services
Aside from that
Agency
bullshit, it's a nice day.
in the H2O highway corridor and port clearance practices, being the very study
I'm gonna give myself
that
1 hour, then I gotta
is
go
at
do real
issue in the
life
budget.
stuff. I need to be
And
office
you
by
have surely
quarter
seen
to 3.
that these are estimates that appear in the
Quarter
budget
to 3,
document
4 o'clock
and
the
that the
latest,
committee
and
might spend less than appears here, and that the funds that aren't used by the committee will be returned to the liaison committee. If you have any questions, the clerk will be pleased to answer them. Does the committee carry this budget? I believe that we do adopt it very well, which allows us to move to the next point pursuant to Standing Order 1082 and the motion adopted by the committee on Tuesday, the 24th of March, 2026. That's last Tuesday. We are now meeting as part of our study of the role of the Canada Border Services Agency in the H2O highway corridor and port clearance practices. That being the context, I would now like to welcome our two witnesses for our first hour, both from Canada Border Services
Bro,
Agency.
I spent a
Mr.
solid
Daniel
45 minutes
Anson,
before going to
Director
bed
General,
yesterday
Intelligence and
raging at this game
Investigations,
because
and
I
Ms.
accidentally
Kathy
decided to do
Toxopios,
Uber Lilith,
Director General,
and
Trade
I
Program
bashed
Directorate.
my head against it until I beat her, and I beat
Welcome.
her in the cheesiest way. I just like
You have 5 minutes for your opening
I
remarks.
phase skipped
Good
her
afternoon. My name
phase
is Taxi
one.
Toxopios.
I
I'm the
phase
Director
skipped her phase
General
two
of Commercial
somehow.
Programming at the Canada
I
Border
ran it
Services
maybe
Agency.
20,
With me
25 times,
today
maybe
is
30
Daniel
times.
Anson, Director General of
And
Intelligence and
one of my
Investigations. We
wings
appreciate this
clipped her
opportunity
on the
to
first.
contribute to the
She
committee's
did the
study.
first phase, and then right after that, she got clipped into
Facilitating trade
her
and the
second
movement of goods
metamorphosis, where she's cutting
is
the
a critical
platforms.
part of
And
the
then
CBSA's
she did the first
mandate.
platform cut.
We
I
take
ran
our work
around, stayed out of her
supporting and
whirlwind, and then
strengthening
one of
the
my
Canadian economy
wings must have clipped her. And she
very
just dropped.
seriously.
Like she didn't even get to the
is to
she
protect
didn't
the health,
cut
safety,
any of the other
security of
platforms
Canadians.
off. She
The
just
CBSA's
got
presence in the trade
clapped.
continuum is not only required to move goods efficiently,
I didn't get
but
my
also to
fucking thing,
intercept
and then I had to
contraband
look
from
it
being
up, and there's
imported
apparently a
into or
glitch
exported from Canada.
where
CBSA
people aren't
officers
getting
examine
their-
high-risk
they're not
marine
getting their
cargo at a
resplendent
vessel's
spark.
first point of arrival. Inspections
fucking
may be
stupid.
performed at dockside, or they may involve
But
full offload
what I read is
examinations
that
at
they're gonna
dedicated
you have to
marine
wait till they
container
patch
examinations.
Pardon,
your
madame,
resplendent spark in,
Toxopius, vous avez
and it's like a
If I may, Madam.
key seasonal item. Like you can't get you get this
If
once a
you
season, I
speak
guess.
quite quickly, then the interpreters
So it's
have
like-
some difficulty following you. So you'd like me to speak a little
How
more
do
slowly?
you-
Yes, slightly,
How do you put
please.
currency in your game and like a
Officers
mechanic in
examine
your game
high-risk marine cargo
that's
at a
broken?
vessel's first point of
like
arrival.
you can't put that in your game without testing
Inspections
it.
may be performed at
And then-
dockside, or
you
they
know what I
may
mean? Or you
involve
can.
full offload examinations at dedicated marine container
Like they tested
examination
it and then
facilities.
it worked for them,
Such
and then they put
facilities
it
are
out, and now
currently
people
in
aren't
place at
getting
Canada's
currency. Like,
5
that's
major
such a
ports in
huge fuck up.
Halifax, St. John, Montreal,
$90 a
and
game,
Vancouver and
multi-million
Prince
dollar
Rupert.
game, like,
These locations deploy state-of-the-art tools such as monitored radiation screening
cracks
portals,
are
non-intrusive, large-scale
Those are-
imaging,
those
and
are
secure
good.
examination spaces, in
best.
addition to trained CBSA personnel. Good security is the foundation that allows trade to flow smoothly and reliably. The CBSA's presence at ports also helps disrupt transnational organized crime, intercepting
Seriously?
contraband such as drugs, precursors, and stolen vehicles. In
Okay, wait.
support of
This
supply.
isn't the one I was trying to look into, bro. I watched that one earlier. What's the one? What the fuck? What was I gonna watch? Sick. What was it? It's a day ago. That's why it came out. About a day ago. Highest in the G7. What the fuck? Oil prices, oil prices, oil prices. Scare tactics or economic reality? I don't know. They've been saying, everyone's been saying everything is more expensive and the economy is getting fucked for the last 6 years, and the government's going, oh, you guys are crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Everything's more expensive. A couple million people at the food banks, never seen this before. Food banks running out of food. You guys are crazy. Yeah, everything's fine. Why can't I find this video? The fuck? Household debt exploding. Oil prices up, but Canadian dollar down. Yeah, where the fuck? Is there a reason I can't? Did he rename it? Oil prices up, but CAD down. I guess I have to like literally search the title. Is that a different channel?
Oral questions. Questions orales. The honourable
Oral
member for Regina
questions.
Capel.
You know, Mr. Speaker, it used to be that when oil prices went up, the Canadian dollar went up along with it. But it's not. Why? Because this government is attacking our energy industry. Their industrial carbon tax drives investment out of the energy sector, and despite massive new powers, they have still gotten no new pipelines built. Even the Liberal Prime Minister has said that when our dollar is weak, food becomes more expensive. But he doesn't realize that it's his job to give Canadians a strong dollar. Liberals never change. Will he reverse his radical environmental agenda so our dollar can be strong and Canadians can eat, heat, and house themselves?
The Honourable Minister of Veterans Affairs.
Mr. Speaker, we'll circle back to that question, but today we need to start with the good news for Canadians and for Canada.
We'll circle
Today,
back to
the
people
NATO Secretary General confirmed that
feeding,
Canada
housing
has
themselves.
met NATO's 2% spending.
She goes to NATO. We'll get back to people eating and feeding. We met the NATO target. We met our defense target.
Confirms we are doing our fair share here at home, in the continent, and in the
Look at
alliance.
these. Look at all the liberals.
Investing in Canada's
They're
women and
literally
men in
perfect
uniform.
Democrats.
Today
Can't
and every day,
support that
NATO
side without
allies
being
know
a
they can
wretched
count
fucking
on Canada.
rat. Look at them.
The Honourable
Fucking
Member for
disgusting.
Regina
They're all
Capel.
alone. There's no fucking.
Even the Liberal Prime
That
Minister
exists, they're
acknowledged,
fucking
quote,
all alone.
one thing impacting food prices is the fall in the Canadian dollar. But it's his job to give us a strong dollar. But he has chosen to keep his industrial carbon tax that drives investment out of Canada. This isn't the first time he's racked up a record like this. His tenure in the UK was described as, quote, characterized by stagnant growth, stalled living standards, and declining productivity. Sound
This is a
familiar?
rat
This Liberal
business.
Prime Minister is great at getting important
wants to make
jobs,
money.
just
He wants to
terrible at
make money for his
actually
companies.
doing those jobs.
That's it,
So
period.
will he reverse his radical
He's a
environmental
fucking
agenda
amazing
so our dollar can be
businessman,
strong and food
putting
can
him in
become more
power,
affordable?
thinking that he's going to work for them. He works for his fucking self.
The Honourable
Any other
Parliamentary
business.
Secretary to the Minister of National Defence.
Monsieur le Président, j'ai des...
Mr. Speaker, I have good news for Canadians today.
I don't blame him. Good for him.
The Secretary General of NATO has confirmed that Canada has met the goal of
That's not what I wanted to
2% of GDP on defense. Mr. Speaker, this historic investment shows that we are doing our fair share here at home and within the alliance. Today, as every day, NATO allies know that they can count on Canada. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Fundy Royal.
Speaker, it's clear today that the Liberals want to talk about everything but the affordability crisis that Canadians are suffering from. This Prime Minister hasn't reversed the affordability crisis in Canada as he promised because he refuses to acknowledge that his radical environmental agenda is driving up cost and driving investment out of our country. Canadians need permanent relief from Liberal policies like the industrial carbon tax that impacts the cost of just about everything we grow, ship, and purchase. Everything is more expensive, from housing to gas to groceries. Will the Liberals finally stop attacking vital industry?
The Honourable Minister of Energy and Natural Resources.
Mr. Speaker, I was just in Houston where I was with Secretary Wright and Secretary Burgum, and they were applauding Canada for its record oil production and its record natural gas production, which is keeping prices affordable in North America, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Fundy Royal.
Well, Mr. Speaker, under this Liberal Prime Minister, Canadians are suffering this affordability crisis, and the cost of everything is going up. It used to be the case in this country that if the price of oil went up, our dollar went up. But thanks to radical Liberal policies, that is no longer the case. Canadians have suffered long enough under this government. Will the Liberals reverse their radical policies, like the industrial carbon tax, that are driving down our dollar and give Canadians relief from this cost of living crisis?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, these conservatives cannot stand good news, Mr. Speaker. But I have good news for them. Not only we're meeting our NATO commitment, but we table legislation, Mr. Speaker, to boost home sales in the country and new construction, Mr. Speaker. I should rejoice, Mr. Speaker. We're going to boost construction. We're going to support our industry. We're going to support our construction workers. Instead of yelling, you should applaud our construction workers across the nation. They're going to help us build this country, Mr. Speaker. This is a day to celebrate. We're going to help our workers build our construction sector and make Canada
The Honourable Member for Mégantic-l'Érable-Lotbinière.
This guy's so despicable.
While the Liberals hide behind these illusory celebratory ideas, Canadians are losing hope. The price of beef is up by 40%. Your Easter ham, it's up by 10% this year. The cost of gas is skyrocketing. The Prime Minister has imposed a hidden tax of 7 cents a litre on gas. It's going up by 17 cents a litre. Same old, same old, same old as under Justin Trudeau, the old Liberals. When will the Liberals get rid of the hidden taxes that are increasing the price of gas, of transport, and of groceries so that Canadians can feed their families? The Honourable Minister of Finance. Mr. Speaker, once again, we see that the Conservatives aren't able to hear good news, Mr. Speaker. Not only do we have good news, we've reached our 2% target for NATO. They should be applauding that, Mr. Speaker.
2% target for NATO.
Good news, bit of good news, some even better good news before they go back to their ridings. Mr. Speaker, this morning we unveiled a bill that is going to help us strengthen new home building and new home sales in Canada. We're strengthening the construction sector. We are making things better for our construction workers across the country, Mr. Speaker. This is a day to celebrate our construction sector and our defense sector. The Honourable Member for Mégantic-Lérable-Lotbinière. Mr. Speaker, there's nothing new under the sun with these Liberals, Mr. Speaker. It's same old all the time. They make announcements, but they never produce any results. At the grocery store, everything is more expensive. There's more spending, there's more debt, there's more inflation at the grocery store. There are more families facing unemployment. And, you know, all they want to do is celebrate, Mr. Speaker. It makes no sense. It's crazy how disconnected they are from the reality facing Canadians. No matter which Prime Minister is leading this government, it's same old, nothing ever changes. When are we going to end these old Liberal policies that are costing everyone? The Honourable Minister of Industry.
That's how.
Mr. Speaker, I have a lot of respect and a lot of friendship for my colleague, but I'm convinced that when he hears himself speak, he doesn't even believe what he's saying, because the truth is that as a government, we've created more than 80,000 jobs in the last 6 months. Where if you look at what's happening in the American economy, which is 11 times bigger than our economy, they've lost 6,000 jobs in the last 6 months. And at the same time, while inflation is under control, according to the Bank of Canada, salaries across the country are going up by 4.3%. That's what it means to work for Canadians. The Honourable Member for Saint Jean.
This bitch is talking.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister said that he was really disappointed by the unilingual announcement from the CEO of Air Canada, Michael Russo. But, you know,
2 million people in the country.
It's tricky for him to say that he's disappointed, because 3 years ago his government voted against requiring bilingualism for the bosses of companies like Air Canada. His government doesn't respect its own official languages law. His government is investing every new dollar in his official languages plan to promote English in Quebec instead of French. How can the Prime Minister be disappointed in a situation that the federal government is responsible for? The Honourable Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture. The member across the way seems to have forgotten that we've invested $4 billion in strengthening French in Canada with the new official languages act. In terms of the situation with the CEO of Air Canada, it's clear that we are very disappointed. He should have known better.
Investing $4 billion into French? Who's that?
I'm being interrupted by the block. Once again, they don't want to hear the answer, Mr. Speaker.
Who gives a fuck?
So it's ridiculous, Mr. Speaker.
And look at
the Honourable Member for Saint Jean. Mr. Speaker, instead of saying that they're disappointed by Michael Russo, well, the Prime Minister should be setting an example. But he's probably the only Prime Minister in 50 years to not have a Francophone speechwriter in his office. His government is making unilingual Anglophone appointments, starting with the Governor-General, Mary Simon. The Liberals have hurt Quebec's ability to ensure that people are working in French. Does the Prime Minister not understand that the example that he's giving is inspiring and encouraging the Michael Russos of this world? The Honourable Minister. Well, first of all, I'd like to note to the member across the way that we have a historic number of Liberal Party members from Quebec right now, Mr. Speaker. And in his cabinet, we have many Francophones. I think we saw that during the election campaign, he's been working very hard on his French. I think Canadians know that the Prime Minister is making incredible efforts when it comes to French.
It's easy to work on your French when you have $40 billion.
The Honourable Member for La Pointe-de-l'Île. Mr. Speaker,
while
the Prime Minister says that he's disappointed by the unilingual English message from Michael Russo, the federal government has spent more than $2.4 billion to strengthen English in Quebec since 1995. billions of dollars to make Quebec
Really, they're
English
spending that
speaking over
$4
30
billion.
years, and that continues
Like
every
paying
year.
60 grand. They're probably,
And that explains, it's very clear, how Michael Rousseau has been able to live his life in Quebec without speaking a single word of French. When will the Liberals realize
Michael Rousseau
that
doesn't even speak French and he lives in
there
Quebec and
are
pushes all this French shit?
many
What a fucking
Michael Rousseaus across
rat.
Quebec, and that it's largely their fault?
Hey, 'cause they're profit.
The Honourable
They come in
Minister
where there's no
of
programs, and they go,
Canadian
"Oh, we need
Identity
French
and
programs."
Culture. Mr.
Oh,
Speaker,
no, French
Anglophones have
The
rights
whole
in Quebec. It's clear,
country's
Mr. Speaker, that the
bilingual.
member across the way is just,
child's call.
saying, spouting nonsense, and it doesn't deserve a response.
Speaker, a grocery store worker in Haldeman, Norfolk contacted my office to say that $120 used to buy 5 bags of groceries. Now it barely fills one. Even though she works at a grocery store, she's still forced to use the food bank. This Prime Minister
there's a bunch of
has
people that work
delivered the
full-time
worst
jobs and
food
go to the food bank.
inflation
My parents
in the G7, and he even plans to raise the clean
fucking
fuel
considering
standard
it.
tax
I'm
by
not fucking- no, I
7%.
can't afford
Will this Prime Minister get rid of the food tax so Canadians can
$800
afford to eat?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we understand that world events and supply chain challenges and other things have generated inflation, and we understand that
should be a
has had an
giant thing right in the
impact,
middle of the
a
street.
deleterious
why are
impact
you standing
on the
there? Why is
ability
it
of
such a title?
families to afford
I don't know what the fuck
some
is going
basic
on. It's got the
essentials. That
fucking
is
question mark
precisely
here.
why this
Then,
government put in place a
read the
Canada
fucking-
Child Benefit,
fucking
put in place
electrical fucking
dental
book? Is this
care,
a
put in
fucking
place
electrical-
pharmacare,
Do I need a
made
whole
child care
electrical,
agreements
2-inch
resulting in
fucking
$10 a day
Diablo
child care
book
in
explaining
most
the
of
fucking
Canada's
bylaws of
provinces,
how
Mr.
the
Speaker. The question that
system works?
Canadians really
I just
have
wanna
is,
kill
why
you.
do the Conservatives vote against this?
Why do I have to go?
The Honourable Member for Haldeman, Norfolk.
No, I'm supposed to know that.
Mr. Speaker,
You're actually
Canadians
supposed to
are in
read
distress and
the
are
quest
struggling
and
with
then pay
high
attention to
food
other
costs. This Prime Minister promised
full of
change,
slop, you
and
can't fucking
instead,
figure
the
out what the fuck's
affordability
going on.
crisis has just gotten worse over the past year. The Prime Minister broke his promise when he said that grocery prices would go down. Now Canada has the worst food inflation in the entire G7. His plan to increase the clean fuel standards tax by 7% will only make things worse. Will this Liberal Prime Minister cancel this tax on food so Canadians can afford to eat?
L'Honourable Ministre.
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
Speaker, we understand the situation, and that's why on this side of
Mr.
the House,
Speaker,
Mr.
you don't
we
understand.
provided a number of measures to help Canadians and Canadian
Jet setting
families.
every fucking day
I can think
everywhere.
of the Canada Child Benefit, Mr. Speaker, that is making a real difference.
Canada
I can
Child
think of the
Benefit, not
National
doing
School Lunch Program, Mr. Speaker, that is helping kids across the country.
School
I
breakfast
can think
program,
about the
fucking shit
Canada
either, bro.
Disability Benefit, Mr.
Cool, they have
Speaker,
breakfast and the
which
rest
our
of the day once they
government
get home
has
from
put in
school, they're
place.
starving.
I can think about the Canada Grocery and Essential Benefit, Mr.
Retards.
Speaker, that's going to help more than 12 million people. Mr. Speaker, we know it's an issue. That's why we're working to
The people can
affordability
children can
every
eat
single
breakfast
day.
at home and then they can
Full Member for
argue with their
Hastings,
parents
Lennox
about
and
how to take
Addington,
care of them, but their parents
Tyandanaga.
can't because
Almost a year ago, when asked, will there be a barometer for Canadians?
they can alienate them from their
Prime Minister
parents and then they
responded,
can become
Canadians
government
will hold account by
soldiers.
their experiences at the
and
grocery
kill their
store,
parents.
when they're paying their electricity bill, when they or their children are looking for a place to live. 10 months later, Mr. Speaker, groceries are higher than ever, affordable housing is non-existent, and the price of fuel is skyrocketing. This is a direct result of increasing the clean fuel standard tax by 242%. Mr. Speaker, will the Prime Minister get rid of this tax on food
We're gonna
so
take care of you.
Canadians can afford to eat?
The Honourable Secretary of State for Financial Institutions.
Mr. Speaker, same question after question on that side. The only thing that changes
same question
on
after
that
question,
side,
of
Mr.
course,
Speaker,
because
is
people need to
leaders.
eat.
They've had 6 of them in the past 10 years, probably soon to be 7. On this side of the House, we're focused on affordability. We've cut taxes for 22 million Canadians. We've introduced a groceries and essentials benefit that's going to put up to $1,900 in the pockets of working families. Mr. Speaker, on this side
You're
of the
gonna
House,
put
we're
$1,900
going
in
to
the
continue
pocket
to
of
focus on
working
affordability.
Give
They
us
can
the math
focus
on
on
how much
changing
groceries
leaders
cost
time
a
after
year
time.
now.
Thank you, Mr.
Give us
Speaker.
$1,900.
The Honourable Member for Hastings, Lennox and Addington, Tyandanaga.
Mr. Speaker, after 10 years, the only thing this Liberal government is focused on is consistently delivering excuses. This government needs to look at home for the root causes that have created
got
a
$1,000
decade
debt,
of debt
give
and
them
deficits.
$20
This government's
$200.
own
Big
economic
fucking deal.
and monetary policies. This
equivalent of
government
that.
continuously raids the bank accounts of Canadians to fund vanity projects like Alto Rail instead of investing in much-needed infrastructure and housing. Mr. Speaker, again, will this government scrap the fuel standards tax so struggling Canadians can get a modicum of relief?
Yeah, no, they won't.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
I'm waiting because people are going to be.
Mr. Speaker, what
people
we're
are more
hearing from
pissed
that
and
side of the House,
psychotic
what we're hearing heckled today, is that the programs that we've been putting in place to help Canadians and Canadian
Bro, your
families
programs
are
don't do
glorified
anything.
food stamps. These are ideological, radical programs, when in fact they are actually designed to help Canadians, and we boosted them.
They are.
Whether it's
She just
our
called themselves out.
groceries and
She's trying to,
essentials
like, do some
benefit, which Canadians are going to be
double
feeling
speak,
here just this spring, or making our national school food program permanent, or expanding our dental care program. When I talk to people in my riding, they talk about how these programs are making a difference in people's lives.
Those
but
programs
these
are
conservatives
literally
keep voting
Sun
against
Tzu,
them.
Chinese tactics.
The Honourable Member for York Durham.
Your enemy with 1,000
The
paper
Prime
cuts.
Minister promised the best
They'll never
economy
notice
in the
they're
G7,
dying
and he is
before they're
delivering
dead.
precisely the opposite. Highest household
These
debt,
programs are
highest
important.
food
We need to
inflation,
invest in
and an
these programs.
economy
We need to invest in
literally
all these
shrinking
companies
under the
and
weight of his
special-
policies.
specialty government
Particularly
programs
concerning
that
is the
have
decline
specialty
in foreign and
government-funded
domestic
contracts
investment.
that are
CD Howe
private,
called it,
public
quote,
contracts.
Canada's
Oh, it's
investment
public because you can
crisis
look at the
because
company and the
adjusted
people that
for
work there,
growth
but it's
and
private
labor
because you can't actually
inflation,
look into the details of the
Canada's
contract and how much
investment,
money that
all
company
business
gets.
investment, has declined.
fucking
We've
gets the
offered a
majority of that
positive
money.
solution. Remove the industrial carbon tax. Will they
be
do
a
it?
founder of a company and have nothing to do with
The Honourable
not being on the
Secretary of
CEO
State
list,
for
not being on the board of
Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives
whatever.
just
Oh, I
learned a
found
new
it.
word, affordability,
Oh, yeah,
and they
I found
use it
it,
often
and
in the
I-
House of Commons, but every
but
time
why
they
do you
get the
get
chance
all
to
the
vote
money?
in favor
Oh, well,
of an
we're
affordability
getting into
measure
that.
backed by
Private
experts,
contract.
they vote
don't
against.
privilege
This
information.
famed new interest
got
in
people like
supporting
me,
lower-income
you know,
Canadians
going around
isn't
shooting
fooling
CEOs
anybody,
and
Mr.
that,
Speaker.
sorry.
And besides, our policies are
But
working
trust us,
particularly
this is gonna
on
help.
rents.
Look,
Here,
look,
I'll read a couple of
look at
headlines
Henry
for the
Henry
Conservatives.
Cherry
Now is the
picking
best
that
time to
gas
rent in
account.
Canada as asking prices for
What
rent
should be
hit
doing
a
is ignoring everyone, not
31-month low, Mr. Speaker.
Our
When
job
you
is to
build
just make
more
sure
affordable housing, rents go down, and that's what this government has been doing for years now, Mr. Speaker. The Conservatives will get on board.
The question, Mr. Speaker, was about business investment. I'll
Your
try
programs
again.
work. Give us
CD
another
Howe
$7
says that
gajillion.
investment per worker has declined 25% since the Liberals took office. Weak investment yesterday and today means
And
lower
I don't
wages
get it.
and lower
Like,
productivity
conservatives are saying
tomorrow.
everything in
2 years
right in
ago, the
Parliament,
Bank of
they've been
Canada
doing
said we
it
had to
20
break
years,
glass on this issue. A year later,
bashing
CD
their
Howe
head
said it
against
was
a
a
brick wall.
4-alarm emergency. But here we still are. We've offered a positive solution. Remove the industrial carbon tax, which is a
So I don't pay
clear
attention to
drag
Parliament.
on business investment. Please, an actual answer this time.
It's a fucking nightmare. It's a surreal,
Minister of
absurd,
Energy and
like,
Natural Resources.
it's like a
I was
fever
beside
dream.
the
Listen to
Premier of
Parliament.
Alberta earlier this
Just
week in
doesn't
the
make
United States, where she was applauding the work of this
Complete
government.
reality
Where she
disconnect.
believed the work of this major projects office has brought
Cognitive
over
dissonance.
$126 billion of investment to Canada in the last 6 months.
The Honourable Member for
$126 billion in
Selkirk,
investment.
Eastman.
They're expecting
This little Prime Minister is busy
$200.451
grandstanding once again, bragging about how much he's spending on defense, but it's all just an illusion. He stood up a new agency, hired more bureaucrats, created a taxpayer-funded bank, is issuing massive corporate subsidies
What
for
am I
large
supposed to do
defense
here? There's a
contractors
thing- again,
and
there's a
enriching
fucking thing
liberal
here.
insiders. Meanwhile,
There's a
Canada
fucking thing.
only has 300 troops defending the Arctic, and half our equipment is unusable. We don't even have new fighter jets or anyone that can actually fly them. Why is this Prime Minister wasting money on backroom bureaucrats and corporate insiders instead of giving our frontline troops the equipment that they
He's
need?
a businessman. He's not a politician. He's not a political leader. He's not going
Mr.
to
Speaker,
help.
I think that member who was around in those days is not really very nostalgic for
And as a
the
businessman,
peak
if you have a
of
bunch of idiots,
0.99% of GDP that was achieved under
take
the
full advantage.
Conservatives. This government, we are going to equip our members in uniform. We are going to give them raises. We are going to improve their bases. We are going to buy new
Equip your
equipment.
members
We are
in
going to
uniform?
create jobs, and more jobs in the defense industry in this country.
More
Unlike
jobs
the
in the defense
Conservatives.
industry. Oh, yeah. Sorry in advance to anybody on that.
The Honourable Member for Vernon Lake Country, Monashee,
Our military is
is making
literally
it hard for me to
non-existent.
hear the questions and answers.
The Honourable Member for Rivière-du-Nord.
Rivière-du-Nord.
The Liberal Party of Canada is, I think we can all acknowledge, Mr. Speaker, an organization that has a little bit of influence on the government. But this party, at its Congress, called on the government or the Liberal Party to urge the government of Canada to invoke a veto over any provincial law that proactively invokes the notwithstanding clause. A right of veto, at the end of the day, over the National Assembly of Quebec's sovereignty. So I'd like to know, if you'll allow me, Mr. Speaker, if the government agrees with that proposal. The Honourable Minister of Government Transformation. Mr. Speaker, the Government of Canada's disallowance powers have not been used since 1943, and they won't be used by this government. The Honourable Member for Rivière-du-Nord. Mr. Speaker, the federal government didn't just go to the Supreme Court to contest a law passed by the National Assembly. It went to lower Quebec's own powers in its own areas of jurisdiction. With its campaign of fear talking about slavery and summary execution, this government is attempting a full-blown constitutional coup. If the Liberals want to open the Constitution to weaken Quebec, they know what to do. Either they can start a new constitutional round, or they can respect the powers of Quebec. What will they choose? The Honourable Minister. Mr. Speaker, I find the questions from the Bloc Québécois absolutely ridiculous. One thing I know about Quebecers, Mr. Speaker, is that we're proud to live in a state of law. And Quebecers have the right to contest a law before the Supreme Court. It's their right. It's completely legitimate. On this side of the House, we respect the work of the Supreme Court, and we're going to let them continue their work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Honourable Member for Louis Saint Laurent Akiawenrak. Mr. Speaker, a year ago, Canadians thought that they had a new Liberal Prime Minister, but no, it turns out that a Liberal is a Liberal is a Liberal, and that's been the same for 10 years, Mr. Speaker. And investments are bad, Mr. Speaker. The C.D. Howe Institute told us today that business investment per worker is down. It's down by 25% in investment per worker. Investment in industrial commercial buildings has dropped by 32%. Machines and equipment, it's down by 29%. It's all going down. But there's one thing that is going up, Mr. Speaker, and that's the Liberal industrial carbon tax. While investments are going down, the Liberal tax is going up. Is there a Liberal who can explain to me how this is going to work? The Honourable Minister of Industry. Well, there's something that we can certainly explain to my colleague, with whom I have great friendship, and it's the fact that there are tariffs right now against the manufacturing sector, and that's having an impact on our industrial base. And obviously that's also having an impact on investments. In the meantime, the government isn't sitting on its hands. No, we've worked on a plan. We've worked with businesses from Quebec and the rest of the country, and we are helping those who are impacted directly by the tariffs. Workers, entrepreneurs, and others. Our goal is to create jobs, and you know what? We've created 80,000 in the last 6 months. The Honourable Member for Louis Saint Laurent. Well, you know, Mr. Speaker, last month 100,000 Canadians lost their jobs, Mr. Speaker. That's the reality. And, well, the government's blaming everything on Donald Trump. The reality is this government could act directly. But what they're doing for industry is increasing the Liberal industrial carbon tax. That's the truth, Mr. Speaker. When investments go down, they're increasing taxes. It doesn't make any sense, Mr. Speaker. But it's the proof that this Liberal government over the last 10 years has not changed at all. It's the same recipe that led to the loss of 100,000 jobs over the last couple of months.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, I have good news. Good news for my colleague. Last week, I was with the Finance Minister in my riding, where we saw a $250 million investment to increase the number of Canadian products that are built here in Montreal, in Quebec, and in Canada. That's because Kraft Heinz has confidence that our new government knows what it's doing with the economy, and I think that we should look at that investment as being a major step forward for Quebec and for Canada. The Honourable Member for Lévis-Lotbinière. Mr. Speaker, new Liberal government, old Liberal government, well, whatever, it's a Liberal government that doesn't know how to count.
Yeah, they
For
don't
10
know how to
years, it's
count.
been
They
the
don't
same
show the
Liberals
numbers
who've
at all.
ruined our
It's psychotic.
country. Canada lost over 100,000 jobs since the beginning of the year. Business investment per worker has plummeted by 25% since the last Conservative government, and investment in industrial and commercial buildings has dropped by 32%. Mr. Speaker, the Liberals, will they cancel the industrial carbon tax finally so that our country becomes a place where people want to invest again? The Honourable Minister of Industry. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Listen, my colleague has made a major allegation by saying that the government doesn't know how to count. But I think if he were to do a math test against the Prime Minister, well, I don't think he would win. If he was going to do a test of, who can yell the loudest, well, maybe he'd win that.
The Honourable Member for Charlebourg, Haute-Saint-Charles. Mr. Speaker, in recent weeks, we've been hearing conflicting reports that have circulated regarding the cost of the Quebec City tramway. Here in the House, the member for Beauport-Limoilou himself mentions a cost of up to $13 billion. The announced budget is reportedly $7.6 billion. What we need to know is how much the federal government is prepared to pay into this. Everyone in Quebec wants to know. I would ask
A federal train
the government's Quebec
project
lieutenant
that could
to clarify.
vary from $7.4 to $13 billion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. On March 26th, it's a historic day. Finally, the member for Charlebourg is supporting the tramway project, a critical project, $10.6 billion in economic benefits. It's a historic day because a year ago, he was claiming that he was going to withdraw financial support, $1.44 billion. And here we are signing agreements with Quebec. $26 million for public transit over the next 10 years, $13 billion for the infrastructure fund for my colleague, and I'm very much looking forward to working with him on this important project.
I'd be forward to working with someone who's got a $13 billion budget.
Mr. Speaker, there is a nuance here.
Jesus
it's not. We remain on the same position, but they are committed. They committed, in fact, last year that they would be there for 40% of the project. Now, the project is underway, but there's no funding attached to that. Can the minister confirm that his government will be there before the trees have been cut? What are we supposed to do if that's not the case? The Honourable Minister. Mr. Speaker, there's one thing that is for sure, and I think things are backwards here when you hear the member across the way from Charlebourg ou Saint-Charles say these things. What he was promising to the people of Quebec was zero. Projects are fine for Edmonton and Calgary, but their commitment was zero for Quebec, and that's absolutely unacceptable. We've been here since day one. We've been here since 2018, $1.44 billion, $25 billion over the next 10 years, $13 billion in infrastructure, and we're working closely with Quebec City for more money for public transit everywhere throughout Quebec.
For Scarborough Agincourt.
Today is a great day for Canada, Mr. Speaker. Consideration for the Budget Implementation Act is nearly complete, and we can expect royal assent shortly. Families in my riding of Scarborough Agincourt know we are investing in Canada's future, building an economy that is strong and resilient to global shocks, unlocking generational investments in our long-term prosperity, driving economic growth, and modernizing our tax and financial systems. But can the Minister of Finance tell us how else this bill will help Canadians?
The Honourable Minister of Finance.
I want to thank my colleague for her strong leadership. She's right. There's even more good news, Mr. Speaker. Just look at the Conservative face. They're waiting for that because they're going in their riding. Well, we're going to get royal assent today, Mr. Speaker. We're expecting to get royal assent for the Budget Implementation Act, Mr. Speaker. This is a great day for Canadians because Canadians will see production, enhancing tax credit, historic investment in housing. We're going to reduce red tape. We're going to make permanent the National School Food Program. We're going to modernize our consumer-driven banking. Mr. Speaker, we're going to build the strongest economy in the G7.
Very good. Honourable Member for Saskatoon West.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister stood in this place and tried to tell Canadians that immigration is under control. Well, here are the facts. The temporary foreign worker program has ballooned by 178% since 2015. The Auditor General revealed that 97% of student fraud cases are not even being investigated. And the asylum backlog is a staggering 300,000 cases. And yet Canadians can't find jobs, housing, or health care. This didn't happen by accident. This was the work of 3 incompetent ministers, and all 3 are still in his cabinet. When will the Prime Minister fire these ministers and fix the core issues in our immigration system?
Good question. The Honourable Secretary of State for Rural Development.
Mr. Speaker, I'll get to the answer to that question in due time, but I want to say this, Mr. Speaker. Those Conservatives across the way from Saskatchewan have been there 10 years. I have been here 10 months, and what did I see, Mr. Speaker? Defending our northern border, check mark. Building the one Canadian economy, check mark. Strengthening our World Trading Partnership, check mark. Creating nation-building projects across Canada, check mark. $2.5 billion in uranium sales with India, check mark. Canola sales dramatically increasing, check mark. And more good news, Mr. Speaker, we are just getting started.
The Honourable Member for Saskatoon West.
Mr. Speaker, he forgot scurvy in his riding. Check mark. The Prime Minister says things are under control, but with 7 ministers in 11 years, the system is getting worse and worse. Yesterday, the Justice Minister issued a fake apology for his failed tenure as Immigration Minister by blaming the provinces as if he held no responsibility. His successor, the current Minister of Culture, oversaw the surge in asylum claims that have overwhelmed our healthcare system and housing supply. And the current Immigration Minister is so incompetent that our own Liberal colleagues are calling for her to be fired. The Prime Minister chose these people. Will he take responsibility for their failure and fire these cabinet ministers?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Personal attacks speak for themselves, Mr. Speaker. I have great respect, in
It's not a
fact, for this
personal
member.
attack.
We've had the
Literally,
pleasure of
he
working
literally
together on the
laid
House
out
of
your
Commons
fucking-
Committee responsible for immigration. He understands that fundamentally
attack.
immigration has played an important role, a very important role in the history of this country, and that needs to continue. He also understands, as our side does, that transformations in immigration policy are needed. And in fact, those are underway. A 60% decline in the number of international students on an annual basis. A 53% decline in the number of temporary residents. A 1/3 decline in the number of asylum seekers. We'll continue that work. Of course, we take seriously the recommendations of the Auditor General because change is needed.
The Honourable Member for Cloverdale Langley City.
I've been hearing something troubling from people in my community. They tell me that the international students whose visas have expired are being told by immigration consultants, just claim asylum, you'll be able to stay. So now we have people gaming a system that was meant for those fleeing real danger, and it's clogging the line for genuine refugees who actually need protection. This Prime Minister says claims are down, but since 2015, the backlog has exploded from 10,000 to 300,000 asylum claims. Will this Liberals finally admit this is happening and fix it before the entire immigration system loses its integrity?
The Honourable Minister of Public Safety.
Mr. Speaker, let me just say that this new government is ensuring we have control over the immigration system. Just today, Mr. Speaker, we passed Bill C-12 that gives greater law enforcement powers to both the CBSA as well as IRCC. It will enable, for example, those who are using the asylum system to game the system, Mr. Speaker, will enable officials to disallow those claims, Mr. Speaker. We are taking control of the immigration system, and C-12 is a perfect example of how we're moving forward, Mr. Speaker.
That's right.
The Honourable Member for Cloverdale Langley City.
It's not just the abuse of our refugee system that has people in my riding shaking their heads. They are hearing about situations like this. A young woman just going about her life when a stranger violated her by groping her not once, but twice. He was charged, he was convicted, and then he was given a discharge by the judge. No criminal record. Why? Because without a record, he can stay in the country and fight deportation. After years of decisions like this, will the Prime Minister fire the ministers responsible for creating this out-of-control immigration system? Yeah, way to go!
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, the member will be aware of the 2013 Supreme Court decision, the landmark decision, the FAM decision. And that decision makes very clear that when it comes to assessing the criminal actions of individuals, whether they are foreign nationals or Canadians, that public safety always takes precedence. If the individual has concerns with the decision of the court, that decision is a court decision. It is not a government decision. It does not relate to legislation. As far as visas are concerned, I remind her of her leader's comments when he was parading around the country.
honourable member for Richmond Hill South.
Under this Liberal government, the immigration system is more out of control than ever. This Prime Minister claims temporary foreign worker numbers are down by 50%, yet the facts say otherwise. In 2025 alone, approvals hit a staggering 167,000, nearly triple the 60,000 in 2015. At the same time, youth unemployment is surging to 14%, and young Canadians cannot find work. This Liberal Prime Minister either doesn't know his own numbers or is choosing to ignore them. How many more Canadian workers have to be pushed out of jobs and into food banks before this Liberal government admits its immigration is betraying Canadians?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, I have respect for my colleague opposite, but I would remind him that TFWs are less than 1% of the workforce, and that temporary foreign workers' use is down by 70% in Canada. And in fact, this is a government that stands behind youth.
Okay,
we are creating jobs for youth. One of the things that we're doing right now, we're investing in our union trade and innovation program, supporting 1,800 trades jobs in the BC construction industry, 350 new Red Seal bricklayers at the Ontario Masonry Training Centre, 2,000 sheet metal apprentices and journey persons through the building trades unions. Mr. Speaker, these are the kind of serious actions that we're taking as part of our plan to get youth working.
The honourable member for London Fanshawe.
Mr. Speaker, under this Liberal Prime Minister, the immigration system is more out of control than ever before. The Prime Minister claims student numbers are down, but last year alone, under this Liberal Prime Minister, there are over 247,000 permits issued, compared to 187,000 in 2015, before the Liberals dramatically expanded Canada's immigration policies. That is not sustainable. Youth unemployment is 14% across Canada, even higher in London, and Canadian youth can't find jobs. Why won't the Liberals take accountability for their immigration failures?
Good question.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
I've already gone over the achievements of the government on the immigration file. We'll continue that work. Also, Conservatives have a tendency, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, to count permits and not people. And so they'll count the original permit that's issued, then the renewal. So we have a double counting that often happens. As far as creative math is concerned, we'll put that aside. They've mentioned time and again today the temporary foreign worker program.
Yeah, Mohammed and Mohammed is actually a mistake.
Their leader as well, if he wishes to hear it, that quietly, when they haven't been watching the leader's office, Conservatives have been advocating, in fact, for the temporary foreign worker program in Iraq.
The honourable member for Calgary Nose Hill.
Another fact that they all have
let's bring it a little bit closer to home for the member. In London, Ontario, an immigration expert said this.
That's just a double
He
count.
called the Liberals' immigration levels explosive and reckless. He said, they don't care what will happen with this many students coming in, how they'll find a home or how they'll find health care.
Much and you've had enough of it, there's magically going to be an army of Chinese and Indian people ready to
rents increased by over 20%. My question to my colleague is this. How can you defend the people who are in cabinet who caused this problem in his hometown while he isn't?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, personal attacks again speak for themselves. I'm honored to work with every single member of this caucus who time and again devote themselves to their constituencies. As far as London or any Canadian community is concerned, we continue to see immigration as a fundamental building block in this country. Of course, transformations and policy are needed. That's exactly what we are devoted to. Service has been strained, we know that, but the numbers are coming down, and they'll continue to come down. We see sustainability in the system, and we'll continue that work.
The honourable member for Calgary Nose Hill.
Mr. Speaker, the role of a member of Parliament is to hold the government to account. And that member from London, he had the responsibility to go to his cabinet colleagues and say, there's too many people coming in too fast. The rents in my city are increasing too fast. People can't get health care. Our student food banks are being overrun. People can't get mental health supports. And yet he didn't. And he's standing here today, and he's defending the people who are in cabinet who made these decisions for which there's been no accountability. Can he just say that the government was wrong? And can he just say that he should never defend these people who created a dumpster fire?
Right.
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Conservatives want to talk about past policy, that's their prerogative. What we are focused on, from start to finish, is making sure this country's present and especially its future is on a sustainable footing. That we build this country up, that we focus on the economy, that we look to the immigration system as one way to make that happen. I will absolutely defend every colleague on this side of the House because all of us are devoted, as they are, to our constituents, to our constituencies. Let's stop playing games. Let's get serious about the future of this country.
The honourable member for Kitchener South Vistler.
Out of respect for the health minister, I informed her office that I would be asking this question. I hope she respects the House enough to stand and answer it. They blew $250 million on Prescribe IT. That's the same amount they spent on the sponsorship scandal.
Yes, sir.
Taxpayers got nothing for this money. The Liberals are outright canceling the program, acknowledging that it was a total failure.
Yes, this is Diablo 4 I'm playing. It's outright trash. It's very sloppy. Slop. The UI is slop.
I need more time.
It's very. I'm not even like watching. I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing. I just looked up the meta because that's all of the ARPGs are. If you don't play the meta, you're gonna spend like so much time spinning your wheels in the game.
How may I, sir?
Oh, what is this? What is this? Plus, yeah. How are you, Coino? I'm just listening to some government bullshit, some ranting about our fucking failed government. The last 15 years of Canadian bullshit. While playing Diablo 4. Wow. I'm Elon Musk. I didn't know Elon Musk was born in 1971. Not even in 1970s. No wonder he's such a weirdo. I was watching a podcast and some guy's like, I don't trust anyone from the 70s. Oh, it's Charles Garrett. I don't trust anyone from the 70s. They're all fucking crackheads. They're all drug weirdos. Explains it all. Fucking weirdos. Yeah. Sounds about right. How old was he when he was with Grimes? Wasn't Grimes like 20 or 18? That means he was like 45. Anyway, I'm gonna put this government stuff on. Sorry, bro.
Now, Liberals are filibustering the Health Committee to prevent the disclosure of the contracts. Why don't they just let Canadians see the contracts so we can all try to prevent such boondoggles in the future?
They won't, because the whole point is to fuck the system up. You don't understand. You don't understand,
I have a great deal of respect for my colleague across the aisle, but they're demonstrating classic obstructionist behavior from committee. We've seen this. They're distracting from real work we're doing to improve healthcare across the country. Let's put the record straight, right? They voted against healthcare. They voted against dental care. And most recently, they voted against expanding ERs and hospitals across the country. Canadians can see the difference. Thank you.
Your English is very good. Almost perfect.
Mr. Speaker, we have more good news today. Today, our government tabled legislation to empower our industries and get homes built. We are working to provide affordability, to provide flexibility, and to deliver in the dream of everyone for a place to call home. Can the Minister of Housing and Infrastructure explain to the House the importance of today's legislation? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Minister of Housing and Infrastructure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, today is a very good day for housing in Canada. We are working with all provinces and territories, along with our home building partners, to make housing more affordable and deliver for Canadians. The funding from this housing supply bill will keep our projects moving, protect Canadian workers, and support construction. Mr. Speaker, this is for the months and years ahead, investing in affordability in our housing and in the Canadians that we need to support right now. There's a lot more work to do, but today is a great day. Thank you.
The honourable member
Peace,
for
my brother.
Langford.
Live long and prosper.
Pacific salmon are a public resource owned by all Canadians, not something for this Liberal government to eliminate behind closed doors. For generations, salmon have been managed as a common property resource for collective benefit of all Canadians, yet this Liberal government is now considering removing that principle from the salmon allocation policy. The Minister of Fisheries refuses to commit to to protecting BC's vital recreational fishing industry. With only 5 days left to make a decision, I ask her to confirm that Canadians will retain their meaningful public right to fish, or will these Liberals once again turn their backs on coastal communities, recreational fishers, and our way of life?
The Honourable Minister of Fisheries and Oceans.
Speaker, Pacific salmon will remain a shared public resource managed by the federal government. There have been extensive public consultations on the policy, and working group tables continue and include representatives from sport and recreation, commercial harvesters, and First Nations. A revised salmon allocation policy will not take away any sector's access to the resource. To suggest otherwise is wrong, and it actually divides Canadians.
The Honourable Member for Kamloops, Shuswap, Central Rockies.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Canada's fisheries resources do belong to the people of Canada. The Fisheries Minister confirmed this last October when I asked her at Fisheries Committee. But the Minister's department has recklessly published a proposal that would eliminate this principle, and Canadians are paying the price for the uncertainty that it's caused. Was the Minister's statement at committee more liberal bait and switch, or will she reaffirm that Canada's fisheries resources belong to the people of Canada?
Yeah, well said. Honourable Minister of Fisheries and Oceans.
Clearly, the member of the opposition didn't hear me, so let me repeat. Pacific salmon will remain a shared public resource managed by the federal government. There have been extensive public consultations on the policy, and working group tables continue. That includes representation from sport and recreational groups, First Nations, and the commercial sector. A revised salmon allocation policy will not take away anyone's access to the resource. To suggest otherwise is wrong and divides Canadians.
Member for Kamloops, Shuswap, Central Rockies.
Well, it sounds like the Minister is tired of hearing from Canadians, but Conservatives won't stop raising their voices on their behalf. We recognize the salmon allocation policy must be aligned with the Housing decision. No one is disputing that in the policy's review. But why is the Minister's Department floating the proposal to go far beyond and proposing to sink over 9,000 jobs in BC by gutting the public fisheries access to Chinook and coho salmon?
The Honourable Minister.
Why are we getting cut off from our northern resources?
Someone else is incorrect. Let me repeat.
Who else has
Pacific
access to
salmon will remain a shared resource managed by the federal government. There
South Pacific.
have been extensive public consultations on the policy, and working group tables continue. That include representations from the sport and recreational group, First Nations, and the commercial sector. A revised salmon allocation policy will not take away any sector's access to the resource, and to continue this argument is to continue to divide Canadians.
But I mean, they can play that card.
The Honourable Member for Nunavut.
March 31st will be the National Day of Indigenous Languages. Our government acknowledges that Indigenous languages must be celebrated and supported. Okaptiti, we have more great news. 17.2 million will go towards national Aboriginal broadcasting, will go a long way. More Indigenous peoples will preserve their cultures by showcasing their stories. Could the Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture and Minister responsible for official languages share how this will impact Nunavut?
Snow blindness, fucking carving. What else is that? Great culture.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the member for her tireless work for Nunavut and for the North generally. Last week I had the chance to visit a number of Indigenous broadcasters across the North to see the amazing work they're doing to revitalize the language, broadcast their people in their languages. That's why I topped up the Aboriginal broadcasting envelope that we have in Heritage Canada by $17 million, just to make sure that those often small organizations are doing the amazing work and can continue to do that amazing work. Just in Nunavut, we announced in the members' riding $4 million, including $2.5 million for the Inuit Broadcasting Corporation. Mr. Speaker, keeping Inuktitut.
The honourable member for Wellington, Halton Hills North.
Mr. Speaker, Parliament recognized with Liberal MPs supporting that a genocide, including forced labor, was taking place against the Uyghurs in Xinjiang province in the PRC. In response, the Liberal government imposed sanctions. Today, a Liberal member of Parliament in committee intimated in questioning Margaret McQuaid Johnson, a former PCO official, that there was and is no Uyghur forced labor. Two questions. Does the government still assess that Uyghur forced labor has taken place? And secondly, will the sanctions remain in place?
Litmus testing Canadian you clearly got away with
the question, and I want to be absolutely clear to all members of this House: forced labor is unacceptable. We must ensure that our global supply chains remain free from these abuses. That's why, Speaker, we prioritize the inclusion of comprehensive labor provisions in free trade agreements to promote international labor standards. We also work with public safety to reduce forced labor from our supply chains, and we will protect Canada's interests while upholding labor standards from all workers.
Forced labor. Those people fucking with those pickaxes in that prison yard breaking up rocks because they believe in a specific religion. Say aye.
The Aristotle Foundation recently commissioned a Leger to survey Canadians on their knowledge of parliamentary representation when it comes to their province. The think tank.
Bye on that. That's all I wanted to hear. I want to hear about the Canadian petrodollar and then it just devolved.
I need more time.
The typical parliamentary back and forth. I haven't checked Parliament really good in a while. Well, I do look at the intro videos, but I don't know. It's the same shit. I just want to check every once in a while to see if anything's changed. Conservatives win any? Do the Conservatives get power? Do they fucking change anything? No.
I am not ready for that.
What else we got here? I feel like that's maybe a stronghold. Oh, there it is. Tis indeed.
Zakaroon Monument. The light has all but faded from this place. I need more time.
The mistakes of my past will be paid in your blood, grave robber.
Okay, bro.
Let our brothers rest.
Natural brazier. Skull somewhere. Cleanse the skulls.
Ready for that. I am not ready for that. Ready for that. I am not ready for that.
Am I hallucinating? Last one?
Impressive. Fortunately. Cannot fit that anywhere.
How the fuck did I get that one?
Thank you.
Why does this look like it has so many? Okay, it's just the way the shield's made. What's up, baby? She brought the groceries. Life. Yeah.